It's a beautiful sunny morning here in Vietnam, and I just wanted to have a little chat with Courtney.
Hello, how are
Hi,
we?
how are you doing?
It's so good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, it's a beautiful morning here, isn't it? Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
just
we just was like, we were spent the morning cycling around the rice paddies and then did our market shop and then came home. It's been so divine.
yeah, it's a beautiful day, and yeah, we're so lucky to be here. Yeah,
I feel you, I know. I
yeah,
feel like we're really nailing it now. Like we've been in Hoi An a month. And yeah, just that whole morning, I was like, I feel like this is good. We're getting in the flow. It's really incredible.
yeah,
It's such an amazing
yeah.
place.
Yeah, so just so people know, we connected, didn't we? We connected through the worldschooling family or community, yeah, family community, yeah,
Yes.
in Vietnam, in Hoi An. And yeah, we just had a catch up yesterday, and I had a great some time catching up over coffee and just chatting, and I thought it was a good idea to just do yeah, just get on and do a live and just tell all my followers about what you're doing, and yeah,
Oh
what
no,
you're
I
working
loved
with,
it.
I
It
guess.
was so
Yeah,
beautiful to connect with you, Joe. I was saying to my husband after, I'm like, it's just so nice when you meet like-minded people that again like are just going beyond what we think we have to do or how we think we have to live. I think that's the
yeah,
biggest piece. And then when you can have those open conversations about, what you're building and what you're creating and
yeah,
it's to be so good.
yeah, yeah. So you've got a really interesting background because you come from a traditional. Just explain to people. I like the way you say you've gone rogue on your profile. Explain
Yes.
a bit about what you do and how you work with women.
Oh, I love this. So, yes, I say I'm a neuropsychologist gone rogue. So, I am a doctor of neuropsychology. I study the brain behavior psychology for a decade. I did my research in traumatic brain injury. I worked in like clinical settings, hospital settings. I had my own private practice for a number of years. And then through my own personal growth journey and through my own healing journey and just being in the different worlds, I really started to see a gap between, just being in the mainstream psychology and what we got to access. I know we spoke about this a little bit yesterday, Joe,
Yeah,
what we got to access or what we get to access when we bring the nervous system and the psychology in and to understand ourselves, but more
yeah,
so like deepening into the energetics and our feeling bodies and, who we actually believe we are at our core. And so what I did, I rearranged my entire business and created this heart-led business where now I work with women, very ambitious, exactly like you, like ambitious, driven women that are, again, stepping outside the mold, that are wanting to create these businesses and these lives of freedom. However, the old identity hasn't caught up yet. I know we said
yeah,
this yesterday, like the
yeah,
rewiring hasn't happened. And so we often live in the world of, I've got to take more action, I've got to be more consistent. And we're just trying to force an old identity, an old nervous system. We love her, but she's just a little bit outdated, into doing something new. And what I found when I started working with women, as soon as you understand the neuroscience piece of who you are and the neuro psychological part, and then deepen with the energetics, like what energy am I actually putting out in the world, everything explodes. Like everything
yeah,
just moves at really, like I love to call it like quantum speed, because your whole nervous system, your whole being is actually online with what you're building now. You're not constantly making a move and then second guessing or making a move and shrinking back. You just keep growing and expanding.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I personally share my experience. I stepped back from the corporate world. I've been in the corporate world for over 25 years, almost a year ago. And I thought it was all about, I build a business, and it was all about learning skills and sales skills and all the rest of it. And like but I didn't realize how much inner work I've had to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I'm peeling an onion, onion off layer by layer, just about, issues I've had about money scarcity, self-worth, self-esteem, you know, just, yeah, how much my identity, we talked about it yesterday, how much my identity was tied to this job title I had in the corporate world, and yeah, finding who Joe is again, So I guess this is been a big awakening for me, and probably a journey a lot of women go through.
Oh, I love it. It's actually so amazing because it is, we get trained and it's not bad or like I always say in my world, like there's no shame, blame or judgment for our past selves. Like we always do exactly what we know we can do. You know, when we're in old programs, we're in old programs. We don't know that there's anything outside of there. But as you say, that beautiful awakening process of being able to connect in and be like, well, this isn't really, I don't feel alive in this anymore. This isn't my sole passion. This isn't, you know, what I'm waking up for every day and jumping out of bed, like living that, I love to call it like your FPS life, like that life where you're like, oh, how did I get here? And when you start to be like, oh my gosh, something else is available, it is the nervous system's going to say, no, go back. This is unsafe. What are you doing? And then as you say, and this is why I love specifically working with women with business, because business brings it up, brings it up tenfold. If you are out there being vulnerable, creating something, whether you're selling your own product or someone else's or whatever you're in, it is going to bring up, as you say, all the scarcity, all the not enoughness, all the unworthiness. And the quicker we can kind of get to the core, the quicker the identity recalibrates.
And it feels like you're going through quite a painful journey at times, but I just say it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, isn't it? Like, you know, if it takes you 2 or 3 years to build your dream business, your dream lifestyle, then, you know, does it really matter?
Oh my gosh, this is what I say to all my clients. I'm like, again, how old are we, right? We're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm like, you have been doing, like, I think I mentioned to you yesterday, like, we are what we repeat. So you are what you repeat. There's no truth to your limiting beliefs other than that you've repeated them more, so the nervous system thinks that that's who I am. But I always bring in grace because I'm like, you've been repeating yourself for 40 years or 50 years or 60 years. I'm like, give yourself a little bit of time to recalibrate and like rewire. Like you're already doing it in every micro moment, but that grace piece of if I step out and I'm not a millionaire overnight, or I step out and it doesn't all click like that. I think, again, especially with women, we have this lens of like we should be doing more or doing better or doing quicker, as opposed to like I'm on the journey, I'm on the process of who I'm becoming always. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, and I've done a little bit of work like looking at like the generational kind of stuff, you know. You know, we all subconsciously, like we all kind of carry all this, like, not generational, not trauma, but sometimes trauma, but generational patterns that we carry with us, you know. And I come from a traditional family where everyone went and, you know, like worked and did the traditional path, and, you know, that's been difficult to break free from that expectation, you know, that like, oh, that I'm doing something different, you know. You know.
Oh, 1,000%. I did a live call the other night off the back of one of my short programs. I did a default to designer, like 10-day activation. It was just daily messages essentially of like how to rewire from a survival self into your designer self. So you're like creation mode. And in the call, we had a Q&A call and someone brought up scarcity. And what I really love to do, instead of just listening to the voices and listening to the beliefs, be like, well, where is this actually mine? And we tuned into scarcity specifically and money, and all the women on the call were like, oh, it was here, it was in my parents, but it was actually my grandparents, but it was actually here. So you're going up against like, and again, it's not to say it's impossible to rewire it, like you can rewire in any moment, but we're carrying all this conditioning that we don't even allow ourselves to question. And it's so beautiful, like you did, where you're like, well, this just feels uncomfortable because no one's done it before, not because it's not possible to do it.
Yeah, and then this whole thing that I guess, I'm not going to say woo-woo, but I was never into, like, I was always very, like, you know, straight down the like, traditional path, and now this whole kind of get my head around the fact, like, you know, you can ask for the universe, like, you can say to the universe, this is what I desire, this is what I want, and the universe will provide it. And that's been a whole kind of, taken me a while to get my head around. So.
The layers of that, I feel you, I know. I used to be so, like, again, stepping out of clinical neuropsychology. That's why I'm like, I'm a neuropsychologist gone rogue, because so much of my work is in the energy. So much of my work is in the universe. And this is why my clients have such massive leaps in their business and their life, because we're actually acknowledging and working with all of us. not just the physical. And I actually said on that same call, because another question was like, I'm all here for the woo. And I'm like, I think we have to stop calling it woo though. Like, it's energy. And if we look and open any science paper, it's quantum physics, it's neuroscience. Like, there's so much information for it now. But again, there's this part where it's separate from, as soon as you embrace the energy. And like, again, this is something Einstein was talking about. So it's not new information. It's just more mainstream now. As you say, Joe, like, so much gets to come online, and we get to co-create with something bigger than us. And that's where it actually gets to be so good.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So obviously I work with like women like myself who they want to break free from this corporate kind of world, or traditional bricks and mortars, and create more of a, you know, like a freedom type lifestyle where they can travel, spend more time with the kids, or homeschool, or world school, whatever they want to do. But a lot of them are just stuck. I think they're just stuck, and they in this place of like fear, or like, you know, like fear, you know, because a lot of people, when we made the move to sell everything and travel and create an online business, a lot of people were like, oh, you're so brave, like I could never do what you did. But the thing is, like, we were having sleepless nights. We were like, you know, like we were scared about, you know, we were like, we're not doing the right things. But we were on this, we put the flights, we'd sold the house. We were like, we've just got to do it now. We just got to do it. And we did it, even though we had like fears and worries. We did it, you know, and we're still here now. And we're, you know, like, yeah, I think, I don't know, what would you say to those women like who are stuck in that?
Joe, this is where the nervous system, this is why I'm so grateful I studied the nervous system for as long as I did, before it really even was like embodied in me. What I say is fear is the green light for growth. And we confuse fear and uncertainty and uncomfortability with unsafety. And we wanted this, we need it, and this is what I say in all my programs, you need a nervous system. If you don't have a nervous system, you don't last very long. Like in Vietnam, you need the nervous system to know, like, oh, this bike's a bit close, or there's a noise coming. Like, we don't get rid of what we are. It's the internal operating system. However, you can upgrade the internal operating system. So the signal of fear isn't the signal of fear that it was when we were hunter-gatherers and don't go down that pathway because there's a tiger and you're going to get eaten. Like, of course, we're not in our highest timelines then, but we're in a very different world now. But people still, and I call it fear cues, people still experience their fear cues as you're not going to survive versus you're going in a different direction. And this is the work that I do at its crux. Like, you're still gonna experience fear. Like I say to my clients, like, I've got a retreat coming in July. I'm launching a new program today. Like, we're on the bikes today on the main road for a bit. It's not that I'm immune from fear, but I no longer let fear be in the driver's seat. I know fear is a natural part of the human experience and a part of the growth experience. I actually lean in when I'm scared now. I don't lean out. And most people, they'll do all the work and read all the books and do all the planning and, you know, read about all the product, all the things, and then they'll go to move and their nervous system's doing what it's supposed to do. It's saying, hey, you're doing something you've never done before, and it'll get scared, and then you'll stop and you'll pull back. Instead of being like, oh, I'm scared, I'm on a new path. Exactly like you, like you're living your best lives in Hoi An. If you'd listened to that fear 12 months ago, you'd probably still be in exactly the same position.
Yeah, there's that quote, isn't it? I can't remember exactly, but it's like the real area of growth lies in the work that you're avoiding. Is it something like that, isn't it?
Yes, it's like it's discomfort. And I always say, like, the comfortability, I have like a whole framework around holding yourself through this, which I teach again. And I say to the bottom zone is the zone of comfortability. And the tagline to it is like the silent killer of all dreams. Because if you continue to live in the zone of comfortability, you are only ever accessing like 5% of your potential, like literally 5%.
Yeah.